Take it easy.
Thank you so much. I did pretty well in this group in 2012. The key thing this morning is to make sure that 2014 is a big year for them. It's going to be. And it's going to be for Martha McSally and Tobin. And there are a lot of reasons that that's going to happen. You know them as people of character. And this is Andy's district, as I understand it. Now, you've known Andy for a long time. This is a guy who's fought at the state legislature, became the Speaker of the House, and has worked very hard to make it easier for working families, to help small businesses come here. By the way, the reason we talk about business so much is that businesses create jobs. We want more jobs. Martha McSally, well, you know this person, a colonel in the Air Force. She's an extraordinary person, flew those A-10s, and she knows what it takes to really stand up for America at home and abroad. She's going to be a terrific congresswoman. Let's elect her. You understand, no surprise to you that this kind of character exists in Arizona, but there's also something else that I think is going to help get them elected, and that's something the president said truthfully. The president said that he was not on the ballot, but his policies were on the ballot. And after that, Al Sharpton was interviewing him, and Al Sharpton said, you know, there are a lot of Democrats that are trying to distance themselves from you, Mr. President, and pretending like their policies are different than your policies. And then he said to Al Sharpton, well, they have to do what they have to do to win the election, but I know I can count on their votes. So when you hear some of our Democrat friends out there saying, for instance, that they're all for coal, even though they know darned well that if they had a majority in the House or the Senate, they're going to keep any vote from happening that protects coal. And when they stand up and they say that they're going to be fighting for schools, and you know darn well that they're going to be fighting instead for the unions, you understand that when they say, oh, they're going to protect the Air Force Base, the A-10s, but you know darn well that if they have the majority in the House and the Senate, you're going to have a much harder time being able to keep your A-10s in this great state and this community. Those messages the president is saying is absolutely right, which is you vote for those Democrats, my friends, and you're going to find that they vote precisely for what the president wants. And so this is a race where the president is not on the ballot, but his policies are, and those policies have been tested, and they're no good, are they? No! I mean, he told you that you could keep your doctor and your insurance if you wanted to keep it. He told you that your premiums were going to go down $2,500 a person. Anybody seen that go down? No! He told you that he was going to work hard to help the poor. The number of poor in this country's gone up, not down. He was going to fight to reduce income inequality. It's gotten worse. He was going to help our schools. They haven't gotten better. As a matter of fact, he fought to close down a charter school in Washington, D.C. This president has not done what he said he would do. He has not helped the American people as they needed to be helped. There are two people here that are going to make a difference. In these next 2 years, they're going to say no to Obama and yes to a new direction for America. Please welcome, number one, Andy Tobin and
life is not to be happy. The purpose of life is to have mattered, to have made a difference. We have young people today in what I'm calling our next greatest generation. You've heard me talk about them. They are flying in places that this young lady fought for long ago, but they're fighting in lands that they've never been, for people they've never known, for that American freedom that we hold most dear. We owe it to what will be our next greatest generation. We just need to give them a chance. You can't be $18 trillion in the hole and say we're giving them a chance. You can't leave your borders wide open and then decide to close Gitmo. You can't leave your borders open and then decide we're going to vote to close the Grand Canyon, Arizona's Grand Canyon. You can't leave our borders open and decide that our veterans' memorials can stay closed. Ladies and gentlemen, they are wrong on all of the issues. The president draws lines in the sand just like my opponent, and they cross them every day. She said the other day, I support coal. She said this is after they're closing down Choya, after we've gone through Navajo Generating Station. She said just the other day that we need to tax Social Security. Tax Social Security after she's cut Medicare $800 billion over the next decade. There's one state, and you know who it is, who's fought to keep these borders closed beyond anyone else. Who is it? Arizona! There's one state who got in so much trouble with the budget we were left with from Janet Napolitano that we had to make significant cuts. And then what did we do? We cut your taxes so Arizona had a fighting chance to come back. And then we started paying down our debt. Some of those simple solutions just don't seem to find their way into the White House. I wonder why. But they seem to have enough money to do what they want to back there and jeopardize our flights down here in the A-10. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our election. This is our time. Look at these children here before you. They are counting on us to get our votes out. Your friends, your family, your neighbors, your mayors, to get their votes out because they don't believe even this day that we'll win, because they don't believe you'll go vote. I'm here to tell you, and you know how big this district is, bigger than Pennsylvania. They just zigzagged it all over. They figured no Republican would ever run in this one. They don't know us very well, do they? No. So I share with you, send us both back to Washington. There will be a checks and balance on this president, and there won't be someone who will close our Grand Canyon and close our mines and close out our jobs and hurt our seniors. Thank you for giving me and my family, I know my wife's here somewhere, and my son, thank you for giving us the opportunity of a lifetime to run and represent you. We will not let you down. You haven't let us down. Let's go win this election. Thank you.
Who fought to defend our country. She's been at the controls of an A-10. She knows what it's like to see what a battle is like. And I can't wait for her kind of battling going on in Washington. She's going to make a difference for us.
Governor Romney come out to support Andy and I today. I really appreciate everybody coming out here as well. We're 11 days from Election Day. 11 days, think about it. I ran in 2012, if you remember. I went to that election night, 1,300 votes ahead of Ron Barber. I went to freshman orientation, I was in the photo, interviewing staff, and I had to come home 11 days later and concede the race. I lost by 0.84%. These two seats have been in the top 3 in the country, really, for the last year. We're 11 days from victory. In my race, we are neck and neck again in the dead heat in the polls. But my district and Andy's district voted for Governor Romney in 2012. And if we did it all again, there's some buyer's remorse out there because people are saying, when we ask the question, are you better off than you were 3 years ago, just sort of going to Ronald Reagan, right? You're better off than you were 3 years ago as long as Ron Barber's been in office. The answer is no. Everyone I talk to, and there's 2 main issues in my very diverse district, the economy and security. Those are the main issues. Economic opportunity for us, the kids, and security, border security, security from the threats abroad, ISIS, what's going on in the world. And in both areas, we are worse off than we were 3 years ago. And if you saw on TV a few nights ago, Ron Barber was asked the question, are people better off in your district? And he answered no. And he said, like, well, not a lot of people that I'm talking to. Say that out loud. So he's finally admitting what's happening. Tucson came out 3 weeks ago. Wall Street Journal had a report where the jobs recovery is not happening. And Tucson, Arizona is listed #1 in the country for jobs lost since August 2009. #1, worse than Detroit, worse than any other city in the country. People are really struggling here. Our median income is down from $55,000 down to below like $48,000. Our unemployment rate is through the roof. I mean, people know that this is not getting better economically. Small businesses are closing down. We need somebody that's going to be championing those things in Congress to make sure we get our economy going in the right direction. Also in the area of security. Ron Barber was in a debate with me 2 years ago saying he's been leading the effort to secure the border since 2006. How you doing, Ron? Well, we're starting to see a trend, right? He said he's known about problems with the VA for 7 years. How you doing, Ron? We don't need people that are going to sit and be bystanders while problems are brewing. We need people that are going to be able to see around the corner, see problems are happening, form and shape the environment, and actually lead to make a difference. ISIS is a threat that we have seen growing for years with the failure of the Obama administration walking away from Iraq after all the blood and treasure from my brothers and sisters in uniform and what we invested there. We just walked away and this threat has been brewing and metastasizing. When I was leading counterterrorism operations in Africa, we repeatedly requested to take action against these al-Qaeda affiliates that were growing and metastasizing, and repeatedly the Obama administration refused to, saying it's not in our national interest. Look at what's happening right now. These threats are real. And unfortunately, Obama's going to be our president for another 2.5 more years. So the best thing that we can do in 11 days is make sure we elect people to Congress that are going to provide strong oversight to this administration in these areas. Ron Barber doesn't have a clue when it comes to national security. He has no background in it. He gets handed talking points. These are very complex issues. We're going to keep us safe and secure, keep our bases strong, which keeps our economy strong, keep the A-10 flying, keep Davis Moffett and Fort Huachuca as the national treasures that they are. Many people understand this firsthand. I did 4 assignments to Davis Moffett. I commanded an A-10 squadron. I had to be ready to deploy them anywhere in the world on 24 hours notice, using the weather, the airspace, and the Barry Goldwater ranges to go to any sort of contingency. I know that firsthand. I've got the credibility to fight for that. Ron Barber does not. He's a nice man, but it's time for him to retire. Yeah. No kidding in a dead heat. And we certainly wouldn't want to go like 2 weeks of counting ballots and then just realize we came up just a little bit short again. And everybody in this room is a part of this solution. You know that, and that's why you're here. Some of you are in my district, some of you are not. Many of you have friends and family and others in the district. If everybody in this room said, you know what, I'm going to go out and I'm going to get 20 votes. I'm going to make sure 20 people are voting. Think about that. Think about the numbers. You're going to, whatever it is you can, whether it's post on Facebook, send an email out to people in your contacts saying, this is why I'm behind Martha, this is why I'm behind Andy, this is why this election matters. We can give you lists to walk your own neighborhood. We're going after independents, low propensity Republican voters. We got to get them to the polls. This is a turnout election at this point, and the enthusiasm and the grassroots is going to be the difference between defeat and victory. So we're counting on you. We have done everything that we can. I mean, literally. I'm leaving nothing on the table. This has been 24/7. Our motto in our office is you can sleep when you're dead. We did everything we got. I mean, there's nothing else we have left to give, but literally this is a team sport. You'll see my team's got Martha's wingman on the back. We need as many wingmen as possible, any, whatever military analogy you want. We need boots on the ground. We need whatever you want. We need people out there right now in this last push to make sure we get those votes out. Whatever you can do, talk to your friends, make phone calls, come to our headquarters, whatever it is for you. Because you know what? You can turn on the TV. It's crazy. There's literally millions and millions of dollars of attack ads going, and people have sort of tuned it out. So what matters is third-party credibility right now. What it matters is like, oh, you're my neighbor, and you're behind Martha and Andy, so that means something to me, so I'm going to vote for them. So that's what's really important right now as we do this final push in grassroots. So whatever you can do, thanks for your help. Let's dig down deep. We got 11 days to go. Let's get to victory, and let's send the 2 of us to Congress. Thank you.